Today we're going to be working on the belly dance, and what we're going to focus on today is separating the rib cage from the hips and brushing on our hip kick. So we're working on making the rib cage move separately from the pelvis. So the exercise that we're going to do is going to help you know where you are in space. So know where you are in the rib cage, and know where you are in the hips, and know when you are moving one part of your body and when the other is still. So you're becoming really comfortable with keeping one part of the body still and relaxed, while the other part of the body is moving. We're going to lift the tailbone and then lift the pubic bone. Lift under the ribs, lower under the ribs. Lift, 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 lift. Sorry, let's do it again. So we're going to go tailbone, pubic bone, back, ribs. Tailbone, pubic bone, from the back, in the front. Tailbone, pubic bone, chest, relax. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just the hips. 1, 2. Keep going. Just the hips. Keep the rib cage really relaxed. Keep your neck nice and long. And when you're tempted to move the rib cage, roll your shoulders back even more and relax even more. Tailbone, pubic bone. Tailbone, pubic bone. Tailbone, pubic bone. Tailbone, pubic bone. And a little faster. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Feel your abdominal muscles contract when you tuck, when you curl front. And relax. Now in the upper body, between the ribs, between the ribs. So in the back, you're using muscles between your shoulder blades, pressing you up. And in the front, you're going to squeeze the muscles between the ribs at the top of the abdomen. From back to front. Muscles in the back, muscles in the front. This isn't with your shoulders. It's not squeezing the shoulders. And down, ribs, lifting up and away, not just front, but up also. And now we're going to go neutral. Relax everything. Nice neutral posture, tailbone down, rib cage up. And we're going to lift the tailbone, lift the pubic bone, lift, lift, lift. We're going to go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now the ribs. 1, 2. Keeping the pelvis nice and still. You should feel the muscles engaging, keeping your pelvis still. Now faster, tailbone. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Engage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Engage. Both your rib cage and your pelvis now are kind of locked into place. Your pubic bone is lifted slightly up, and rib cage is being pulled down by the muscles between your ribs. Now we're going to open that up. We're going to let the tailbone lift up to the ceiling so the abdominal muscles are relaxing, and you're feeling more work up above the tailbone. Now you're going to engage the abdominal muscles, so it's lifted the pubic bone. You're going to press up against the bra strap area right under that, lifting the rib cage up, not just forward, but up. And then you're going to engage so that you have both between the ribs engaged and above the pubic bone. This is all closed up. All right, and then we're going to lift the tailbone, relax the belly. Now engage the belly. And And now you're going to relax the top of the belly as you engage right here, right where the knot of my shirt is. So let's drill that. We're going to go release, contract, release, contract, release, contract, release, contract, release, contract. And with the feet, release, contract, release, contract. Release, contract, release, contract. So our goal here is to move the hips, but keep the chest relaxed, and move the chest, but keep the hips relaxed. Alright, so now let's try that twice in the pelvis and twice in the chest. We're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. How do I keep it relaxed and not moving in the other part of the body? That's how I'm using my abdominal muscles. So my abdominal muscles release and contract. Now release, contract, release, contract, release, contract. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Hope you feel nice and warm in your muscles. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. So all about the belly. You'll also notice that your back is working, which is good. We want that. But let's stretch it out a little bit. Let's just do some big circles. You guys are feeling good. A little quiet. I'm going to turn them off. All right. If I was yelling before, I'll find out. Alrighty. Okay, so let's take a look again at keeping our rib cage separate from our pelvis. Keeping the rib cage separate from the pelvis is one of those things that makes belly dance really unique. We have isolations. We're not necessarily locked tight in place, although in some styles we are, but we are isolating, segmenting the various parts of the body. So with the pelvis, it's all controlled by your abdomen. There's also stuff going on in your lower back, but you can really just focus on the belly. That will get you where you need to go. If the belly goes out and in and you really feel like you're doing a crunch, a deep crunch, then you're doing it right. I don't want you to feel like you're trying to make your muscles as hard as possible. You're trying to contract as much as you can, but you're not trying to bear down. Because actually a lot of the times we're going to be pulling up. So when you're engaging the belly, thinking about it as a crunch, think about going as far as you can, not necessarily as hard as you can. Now, when I have my belly going out and in, it's naturally causing my tailbone to lift up. When I squeeze it, when I squeeze the belly, my pubic bone lifts up. When I relax the belly, my pubic bone goes down. So I'm going to be moving my rib cage, and in order to get my pelvis to stay still, I'm going to keep my belly engaged and my hips a little beyond neutral, a little bit with my pubic bone tilted up. And then I'm going to use upper back in order to lift my ribs. What I don't want to do is this. I don't want to lift my ribs by squeezing the shoulders back. The shoulders are pretty separate from this. If you stand against a wall and you try to lift your ribs away from the wall and get the tops of your shoulders on the wall, then you're going to feel that. So go against a wall and take your upper back away from the wall, but pull your shoulders slightly back. You're not going to be able to pinch them together, but you're lifting them slightly back, and that's enough to get the shape that we want and the muscle engagement that we want. So bear in mind, when I lift my tailbone, my belly is out. When I curl my tailbone under and lift the pubic bone, I'm engaging my abdominal muscles. When my rib cage is down, you can think about the muscles between your ribs being engaged. And then when your rib cage goes up, you can stretch and open here and here, but don't let the shoulder blades crack back, like you're trying to crack it out between your shoulder blades. So then in order to get the rib cage down, you can engage the muscles between the ribs. Now you're still all closed up here, so just let them go. And then engage the belly, stretch between the ribs, and contract between the ribs. Release, contract, release, contract. Release, contract, release, contract. Good. We're going to look at our hip drops. With hip drops, we start with our knees nice and soft. We think back to how we know where our knees are. When our leg is straight on that side, it's going to make the hip lift up on that side, and the other hip will go down. So my left hip is down because my right leg is straight, and vice versa. The hip drop move like this, we have one heel up, we're straightening our opposite leg. A lot of the time, this hip drop move is accompanied by a kick and a sit. So let's talk about those. So the typical combination that you would see. Drop, sit, drop, kick, drop, sit, drop, kick. The biggest we run into with drop, sit, drop, kick is people, well, this is actually not the biggest problem. This is one of the major problems people have with drop, sit, drop, kick is on the kick, they tend to take it a little too literally and make a kick like this. Whereas what we want to do is brush the foot against the floor to straighten out the leg. So not this, but this. So let's talk about how we brush the foot. If you come to the first position in ballet and you take your foot forward, leading forward with your heel, then naturally your foot is going to kind of scoop against the floor. So we're going to lean back with the toe and lean forward with the heel, and you can feel how there's resistance against the floor, and it takes you a little while to lift your toe off the floor. So leading forward with the heel, and then my foot kind of cups and curls, leading back with the toe, leading forward with the heel, leaning back with the toe. So when we're in the position for the drop, sit, drop, kick, you can actually think about being a little bit turned out. So you're not going to be here. You will actually be here to do the movement. So that makes it so much easier to brush the foot. So think about your heel coming forward first and your toe coming last. So we drop, and then we lift to drop, and this time we're going to sweep the foot forward in the brush. So drop and then drop, kick, drop, drop, kick, drop, drop, kick. Let's do it on the other side. Drop, drop, kick, drop, drop, kick. Let's do the brush again. So remember, your heel is going forward before your toe. When you go back, your toe goes forward before your heels. Heel goes forward before the toe goes back before the heel. Now in our position, heel goes forward before the toe, and then you don't lift that foot very high off the ground. Heel goes forward before the toe. You don't have to worry as much about the toe going back before the heel in this situation. It's just the kick where you want your heel to go forward before the toe to make sure that you brush. So we have and drop and kick and drop and sit. This sit, we're going to be both doing the drop, so the hip is lifted before it drops, and we're also at the same time going to be sitting down into a plie. It's very simple, it's nothing too fancy, you're just raising and lowering, but a lot of the times people will have trouble going both from the preparation into the sit. A lot of the times they'll just go sit with no preparation. So the whole thing has a preparation. It's and drop, and kick, and drop, and sit. Let's do it on the other side. And drop, and kick, and drop, and sit. All right, good.